How to not lose yourself in other people. Now, this has been a huge one for me in my personal relationships and my friendships. Like, how do you not lose yourself in spiritual practice as well? Like, how do you not get caught up in that which is right for others but not right for you? So, this is what this video is all about. So freaking powerful. Let's dive right in. So how do we not get lost in other people? How do we not get lost in situations? How do we stay grounded, stay centered, stay connected? So this was inspired by a recent experience that I actually had in my personal life where I had no idea how much a person's energy was impacting me and actually like draining and slowly killing me. Like I had physical symptoms that I was just like, I didn't link it to that person. I didn't link it to what was going on. And like my body was screaming and I wasn't hearing it. And it wasn't until after that dynamic wasn't there anymore that I was like, oh my God, like within 24 hours, I was like, oh my God, like I feel so different. And I didn't realize, like, and this is just a lot of us empaths just feel, when you feel another person's energy deeply, even though you may have, I have so many practices that are there, like shielding my field and so on, and clearing it constantly. But there's some people that we let in and they still impact us without us knowing. And it gets tricky because I made a video a while back. It was about how something that you love can drain you. Like you're there on a summer holiday and it feels amazing and you're like on the go, looking at all these things, or maybe just relaxing on the beach every day. And you're like, how am I off center? Because those things that you love, those things that light you up, may also be draining you without your awareness if you don't have a practice where you come into center, where you come back to yourself. And this is what we do in the Power of Self membership. This is literally what that space is for. And there's a description below if this is something that you want to like do consistently and be dedicated to your practice consistently. And there's just so many resources, and honestly, you're not like meant to use all of them because there are a lot. And it's just like, picking some things that work for you, for your individual practice, to keep you grounded every single week. So even though we may have these things going on, right, that are so exciting and so amazing and so awesome, we may feel drained. And this is what I was feeling. And how do we do that? The importance of space, right? How do we protect ourselves? How do we not get lost? The importance of space. We need to take, and I understand this is difficult to do in so many cultures that are all about, well, no, you're supposed to be out there and going out with people and, you eat out, and it's just part of the culture. And so we're not taught in those cultures to like, wait, just stop, space. I need like a whole day a week just for me. I need a whole day of just being in my own energy and understanding what's right for me. And, again, in the membership, I'm just thinking like we're doing soul inquiries to like, wait, what is right for me from like my heart? We're setting targets, goals from that space of alignment. And so it's like those practices are important, whether it's like this, like my membership, whether it's working with someone, whether it's just doing it through a book. There's so many great books out there that support you in that, but it becomes there about accountability because people buy these things, they're like, they're so great, and I never look at it again. So finding a way that is right for you to create that space, because without that space, you may not understand how toxic or how beneficial something is to your life if you don't create that space. Because oftentimes, it's like, let's say meditation, and it's something that's like part of your practice, and then it's only when you leave it, you're like, wow, I feel off-centered, I really needed that, okay? Or when you completely drop something and you really take a break and you're like, oh, that was actually really toxic for me. Like I feel so much lighter now that I let everything go. And I definitely had this experiment with food, and I know a lot of people who are on the spiritual path do this with food. We're just like removing anything and just like bringing things, little by little, and be like, okay, how's my body reacting? Okay, this is not in alignment. I know me and several of my friends who were on the spiritual path had at some point had to experience this, or with some certain products. They're like, it's not in line with my frequency anymore. Like it's not in line with my body anymore. I can't. And so noticing what are those things that are bringing you closer to you or further away from you? And this is actually a question that a relationship coach asked at some point. It's like there's stuff and triggers come up in all the relationships, but the question is it bringing you closer to you, to your essence, or is it bringing you further away from you? And sometimes we can't tell. We can't tell because we feel good and it feels amazing, and we don't actually understand, wait a second, it feels good, but I'm getting further away from me. Okay? Or like, again, in group dynamics, it's like, it gets so difficult when it's like a culture that's like going out and so on, and you're like, yeah, I'm having a great time and everybody's having a great time, and you're like, why do I feel so drained all the time? It's like, because you may be sensitive to other people's energy, because you may not have your own energy clearing practices in place. And this is, again, we have that in the membership. Like, there's so many audios to do that, and like end of day cord cutting practices. So making sure you have those in place and making sure that you're taking space to actually assess what's working for you and what isn't. All right? Because it's easy for us to get impacted. And one last thing that I want to say, because I actually made a video about how to protect yourself against negative energy, because people go into like, okay, well, I'm really impacted, and it's like, the world's out to get me. And I want to emphasize this, that nothing can affect you without your permission. And I recently had this in my own dynamic. I'm like, wow, this person was really impacting my field. And it wasn't like, oh, it's their fault. I'm like, wait, where did I allow it? Like, where did I not listen to myself? Where is it that I didn't listen to my body? So it's all about you. Because yes, we want to blame other people. But when we do that, we're also giving our power away. So it's like, okay, well, I have to protect myself because all of these things out there are more powerful than I am. And that's not true. You create your reality. You consciously or subconsciously allow things in your field. Otherwise, they wouldn't be there. So taking your power back, again, if you want to be consistent with your practice, membership link in the description. And there's also free resources down there. And taking a deep breath, opening up your chest, your shoulders, just claiming that space and tuning into that energy of that powerful co-creator of life that you are. I'm wishing you a powerful day.